Welcome back to Houzz TV Live, and this time we're going to beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida, to meet with Christina Cruz of Cruz Interiors, and we've got a really cool home. This is kind of on a smaller lot, which could be a challenge, but you just did a beautiful job optimizing the design, both inside and out. So give me a little background on this home and these homeowners.
Yeah, thanks for being here to speak with me today. I'm so excited to talk to you about this house. This was a really sweet young professional couple, and they came to me with all of these big dreams. So I was very fortunate that I got to get integrated into this project very early on and worked with Alvaro Rodriguez, for the architect, and Zenon Homes. And we were able to collaborate and create this amazing home. So we really were going for a space that felt like a sanctuary for the homeowners. They both travel so much for work, and they were just looking for something, a source of comfort and a place to seek respite when they come home. But they're also, they're active and they have a lot of friends and they like to entertain. So we were kind of walking that line of finding the balance between creating this home that was like this more modern, organic feel that felt like a refuge, but also created a space where they could entertain and have a great time and relax. Within this space, we really wanted to utilize the most amount of natural light that we could. So we put very large floor-to-ceiling doors and windows on both the first and the second floor, which gave us this incredible flood of light. And then we used all glass railings on the catwalk upstairs. So you have no impediment of that light kind of shining down into the great room. And then sort of within the living space, we created a very cozy feel with the fire element from the fireplace and a little Zen garden under the stairs that brought in a little bit of biophilia. And then as you kind of look over to the kitchen, you get this sense of like welcoming, like, hey, this is the space where we can gather.
The whole place just feels kind of zen, which is really cool. So let's hop into the kitchen and tell me a little bit about some of the materials. And I know there's a surprise here we'll get to as well, but walk me through some of your choices in terms of the materials and what you did here.
Yeah, so the couple really wanted this modern organic feel, which is one of the specialties that we do in our firm. So we chose a hard-working veneer for the cabinetry presses in a light white oak finish. And we really kind of emphasized the graining on that oak to really kind of give that organic feel to the kitchen and bring some warmth to this modern design. Because you can see there's this juxtaposition of a very modern kitchen, but with really the use of traditional materials like a white oak. So we really intentionally went for that balance. And then countertop surfaces, we used Cambria quartz because we knew that this was sort of a no fuss sort of client. Like they didn't want to be sealing and maintaining. It just made the most sense for the use of the space. And you can see there that we used a lot of like whites and grays to just kind of calm the warmth of the color of the cabinetry. And then we chose to bring in a more modern sort of finish with the black hardware to kind of bring everything together with a really long linear light over the island rather than like a typical more expected pendant situation. So that really kind of gave that balance between modern and organic.
The countertop, I like what you did. Like I bump into things. And so it's kind of nice not having that sharp corner there. And tell me about the intentionality of that design.
Yeah, so it's funny because I feel like the rounded island was something that we saw a lot of, like maybe in the late 90s and early 2000s, and then it really disappeared. Like nobody wanted to deal with these like soft edges or rounded curves. Everybody wanted these clean straight lines. But in this home, it was another one of those elements that helped us balance the modern and the organic feel. So very rarely in the natural world do you find something that's completely straight and rigid, right? It always has some movement to it. And it also allowed us to add an additional texture at the island. And you'll see that we have some tambour panels underneath, like a fluted wood, which gave this very warm, inviting feel to the island and sort of amplified the curve because not only is the countertop curved on top, but the base is also curved along the back.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. I love the lighting in here. Can you tell me a little bit more about the lighting? Because you actually framed in the cabinet, which is really cool. A lot of times you only see lighting underneath the cabinet, and this time you kind of framed it in.
hmm So we chose this linear lighting because we had so much solid surface to this wood. We really wanted something that had a little bit of weight and saturation to it. And when you stand back and look at the breadth of the kitchen, it really just frames in the backbone of the cabinetry there. And it feels very modern and elegant.
Yeah, it's great. How did you balance these woods, these wood colors, and these wood grains?
I feel like the flooring was, in terms of materials, the biggest challenge. Not only do you have the physical challenges of like, okay, how are we going to keep this clean? And like, how are the grains going to look in it? You also have like the physical color of the material that comes through. And so sometimes these light woods can read like a funny pink or green. So it really was, I mean, I think we looked at probably 17 different samples of flooring before we decided on this one.
Wow. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, do it till you get it right. I mean, that's the other advantage when you work with someone like you is like you're not going to put it in till it's perfect, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
So we took those 17, narrowed it down and said, okay, here's our three favorites. Which do you prefer? And then, of course, you end up putting it with all of the other materials, and then that kind of makes the decision for you.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Now let's get to the little surprise in this kitchen, something hidden
My
in
favorite
here.
spot. So as you look at the breadth of the kitchen, you see just tall cabinetry, this coffee maker. But if you were to open the cabinet just to the left of the coffee maker, surprise, you have this beautiful little wine room with these black iron racks. Everything is illuminated with soft LED lighting, which the clients just loved. It just made my absolute day to see their reaction to this. In contrast to the bright light kitchen, you'll see in here that we used a lot more dark colors, a natural granite in here, and a black backsplash. Yes, it's a pantry and this is where we store food, but it also is kind of like a secret little bar wine area.
That's very cool. Tell me a little bit more about the great room. How did you orient it, and what were you thinking about in terms of flow and materials?
Yeah, so obviously the verticality plays a huge role in like our decisions here. 24-foot ceilings. We did an electric fireplace here. Really no need for warmth.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
it
You
does
got
have the
plenty of
option.
warmth. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our own warmth. But it does really create this cozy, inviting feel, especially in such a modern space that doesn't have a lot of color. And we clad that in a combination of wood cladding and also a porcelain stone. Same reason here, just trying to find that balance between the modern and the organic materials. So you have 1/3 wood and then the rest is stone, and all of that is going all the way up to the ceiling. And then kind of expanding that vertical space, we use this really cool rectilinear chandelier that has all sorts of points on it to sort of fill that blank negative space on the ceiling. And then coming back down into the space, we used a really large area rug to ground the space and sort of define the living room. And then a really large sectional just to gather friends and family and also sort of create the flow. So it kind of tells you where to go because you're creating the space around the sectional, which gives you an exit to the outdoor patio area where you have your dining, or to the kitchen, and then out to the other side of the house where you have your pool area. The sectional, we used a really soft palette, almost white textural feel for the sectional. And then we added in some warmth with the leather chairs to sort of pair with that. And then a really chunky, organic shaped coffee table to just kind of bring everything together.
That's really cool. Just beautiful. So tell me about the little Zen moment as you're kind of going outside underneath the stairs there. And that's a great opportunity to do something, right? Because otherwise it's just like, wasted space typically. So tell me about your little Zen garden.
Yeah. So that's exactly the idea. So in the afternoon, the sun comes through the top story windows and it literally just casts this amazing sunbeam right under the stairs. So we created this very simple Zen garden. We made a little curb like you would in a shower or something like that, waterproof the space, and then just placed river rocks and potted plants. So we did things that would do well in afternoon sunlight. We did an orchid, we did an olive tree. It really adds so much like warmth and character to the living space.
I love that space. That's super cool.
Thank you. I love it too.
Well, while we're down here, you want to just step outside real quick and tell me about this beautiful outdoor living space too.
So we use the same area on the outside as we did on the inside to create a fireplace moment. And around that fireplace, we have like a nice little conversation area with furniture, outdoor dining space. You have an outdoor kitchen. Again, a really amazing space for entertaining because you can be out there cooking with your friends and then have them sit down for dinner. And then that space leads out to the pool. So it's really all like interactive. People can be over enjoying the pool. And then when they're done, dry off, come over, grab a drink, have something from the grill. It's a beautiful space.
I would be spending all my time out there. Is the dog a swimmer?
He's not a swimmer. He's adorable. We love him. That's Leo. He is the star of the show over there.
Yeah, he's a cute little guy. Well, the downstairs is amazing, and we've got a couple more spaces to get into. The primary bedroom upstairs and bath, and on our way up there, you can't avoid these beautiful stairs. Tell me about your approach with the stairs.
Yeah, so this kind of went hand in hand with the Zen garden underneath. So when we opened up these stairs, we knew we didn't want to go for anything that was traditional or bulky and, lots of trim and all that sort of thing. So we really wanted to avoid that at all costs to make these look as clean as possible and to also kind of make them look like they were floating. So to achieve that, we used the glass railing that has very minimal hardware. And then we also eliminated any skirt board or trim work, and we ended up just using a mitered slab of white oak to create the riser and the tread. So from the side, you see it's just a very clean geometric shape of a perfect right angle. And I just love the simplicity of that.
So let's head up these beautiful stairs and check out the primary bedroom suite.
Yes, because they work these crazy schedules, they really wanted a place where they could feel like just relaxed and separated from the world. It's just very quiet and peaceful. We didn't use a lot of color here. We used a lot of texture, sort of tone on tone materials to just create this calm. We really love to use wool in a space because it's natural, it doesn't off gas, naturally antimicrobial. So that's really a driver for why we chose those types of materials. And then, of course, we wanted to keep an even flow throughout the home. So we kind of stayed with the same color palette. We used a boucle bench. The boucle is so super inviting and it's soft and it just creates this homey feel. And then our bed, we wanted to reintroduce leather like we used downstairs to sort of have this nice rhythm of our color palette. It also just blends nicely with the bedding that we used here, which is an organic cotton.
Love that. Another great surprise in this home is in the bathroom area. A lot of counter space in here, which is great for a couple, so they're not fighting for counter space.
Yeah.
So tell me about your approach in the bathroom.
Yeah, so they really wanted to have like a sanctuary bathroom, and their biggest wish was a large shower. That large shower space kind of drove how the rest of the design would lay out. It left us with all of this wall space, and the clients were super happy with that because very rarely do you find couples that want to share bathroom space, at least counter space with one another. And then you can see also that we have a nice little vanity space for her with an illuminated mirror, a place for her to sit. We have outlets in all of the drawers for all of her hairstyling tools and all of that sort of thing. And everything can be kind of, neatly tucked away.
Really great spot. Now tell me more about the shower.
It's, I think, 11 and a half feet by 6 feet. It's a steam shower. So it acts as, definitely a benefit for health and wellness. Plenty of space in there for them to relax and just a beautiful, beautiful feature.
So tell me a little bit about your journey on Houzz and how you use Houzz Pro. How do you integrate that into your business and how important is it to your business?
Yeah. So I've been a Houzz Pro user for a really long time now. I would say the top tools that we use are probably takeoff tools. So like if we're working in new construction or even if we're doing a renovation, we love to use that Houzz Pro takeoff tool because it makes it so easy and accurate for us to tell our contractor, or even if we're getting pricing, like, okay, how much hardwood do we need? We can just highlight the areas that we need, you integrate or upload your PDF of your plan, highlight the areas that you want, tell it what it is, and we'll give you the square footage. You can tell it whether you want overage or not. It makes things so much faster for us. And then we can request our pricing and send it off for bidding. from our contractor. So that's a tool that we use all of the time with nearly all of our projects. Another tool that we really like to use is the 3D scanner. So back in the day when you'd go see somebody for a new console, you'd take all the measurements with your tape or maybe your laser or whatever, and it would take so much time. And let's face it, not every single consultation turns into a job. And so you're like, oh, I spent all this time and it didn't go anywhere. So the 3D scanner is an amazing tool. It's so fast, it can capture furniture or not, but it really gives you the ability to capture the entire space in a short amount of time. And then if the client moves forward and you need to go and take final measurements, you can do so. And if not, then, it was maybe 5 minutes of extra time that you used. So I absolutely love that. That's an essential one. I use it every single time I see a new consultation.
Well, congratulations on this home, Christina. It's so beautiful, so zen. I mean, it's just a complete home run. And I can't wait to see more of your work. Awesome stuff.
Thank you so much, Rick. It's really been a pleasure to speak with you. We were so fortunate to be able to design this home, and we can't wait to show you some more of our work.
All right. Thanks again. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.